Last time, we ended the events of the original story, going into the Buu Saga. But we left an open question. What's up with Raditz and Nappa? Well, we'll be discussing a little bit more of that in this video. But more importantly, what's going to happen with Vegeta and Goku? We'll also be discussing that in this video too, obviously. Soon enough, Beerus awakens. He envisions a rival, and this is when he wants to wake up. It appears to be a Super Saiyan God. That's what he's thinking of. But even stranger, the Super Saiyan God that he thought of, for some reason he looks familiar, and he can't quite put his finger on it. It's not like with Goku where it was someone he didn't recognize. This guy, he feels like he knows somewhere, but he doesn't know why. And then it hits him. That hairstyle. It looks like King Vegeta. Interesting. He thought the Saiyans were wiped out. Is that supposed to be the Super Saiyan God that he fights? Well, turns out no. All the Saiyans are dead, besides a select few of them. And one of them is actually the Prince. Could that be his rival, maybe? Well, he does look like King Vegeta, and he's a Saiyan, obviously, so maybe that actually is his rival. Beerus immediately goes to seek out Vegeta, leading him to planet Earth. And once he gets there, obviously, he recognizes Vegeta. However, something's weird. He greets Vegeta, trying to give a little bit of intimidation, being a little passive-aggressive about their past. But Vegeta doesn't recognize Beerus at all. He doesn't know why he's talking to him like that, like he's known Vegeta before. And Beerus says surely he has to remember. He knows who Beerus is, right? But no, Vegeta says he doesn't. And Beerus actually kind of takes offense to this. Is Vegeta just doing this to make him mad? There's no way he doesn't remember Beerus. And now that he thinks about it, something about Vegeta seems strange. He didn't know Vegeta, obviously, he just knew King Vegeta. But Vegeta's whole demeanor, the way he's talking, the way he's acting and everything, he doesn't seem to be acting like a normal Saiyan, at least from what Beerus knows. It has been nearly 40 years after all, and he's on a different planet. But surely he should be acting like the Prince. But Vegeta says that's a past version of him who's died. Wait, Beerus is confused. Vegeta's dead? No, not in the literal sense, he just means, whatever, he'll explain it. He tells Beerus everything. Or the lack of everything, because he forgets everything. He mentions what happened to him and how he ended up here. Oh, so he actually didn't know Beerus. Interesting. Well, Beerus assumes he probably doesn't know about the Super Saiyan God then. If he doesn't even remember Beerus, he probably won't know about that. Well, Super Saiyan rings a bell. They at least have that. But they have no clue about a Super Saiyan God. And Beerus really wants to learn about it. Although Beerus is a little bit ticked off. He came here, inadvertently was disrespected by Vegeta, and he didn't get any of his answers either. Of course, none of this is Vegeta's fault. He didn't know. But he has one way to maybe appease Beerus. Well, if the Super Saiyan God is real, whether it's a person, a form, or whatever, they could probably find out from Shenron. So they decide to summon him, asking him, with Shenron outlining the ritual and what it takes to become a Super Saiyan God. This time around though, they actually do have enough Saiyans. They need 5 people to channel their energy into one other Saiyan. They have Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Bra. And naturally, Beerus decides to have Vegeta become the Super Saiyan God. He does kind of look like that rival he saw in his premonition, so maybe he'll be the strongest Super Saiyan God. Not to mention, he is the strongest Saiyan here at the moment. Aw man, Goku wanted to become the Super Saiyan God. But the ritual is done on Vegeta. And obviously all the Saiyans here are righteous. This is the perfect ritual, and Vegeta becomes a Super Saiyan God, making Beerus very happy. Great, and now time for them to duel. So he faces off against Vegeta, and of course, Vegeta's gonna lose. I mean, Goku couldn't even win originally, so there's no way Vegeta's gonna win here either. Although, I would say Vegeta is stronger than the Goku that we saw originally, even if by a slight amount, and even the Goku in this story might be stronger than that one originally. At least if he were to become a Super Saiyan God, which doesn't happen right at the moment. I am kind of breezing through this because it's more important for what happens later. Obviously, Vegeta's going to end up losing this fight, but Beerus did find his rival and he's content. Eventually, Vegeta and Goku do go to Beerus' planet to train under Whis. So, all good in that regard. Even though it was kind of weird meeting Beerus, now things are going a lot smoother. And since you guys probably already knew the outcome of that arc, let's go to the next one, because you guys probably don't know what's going on here. Referring to Raditz and Nappa. It's been a while since they've shown up in the story. Sure, last time they lent an energy to the Spirit Bomb, and apparently it was a lot of energy. So, how did they get strong enough to get that much energy? And more importantly, what have they been up to anyways? Well, it's a bit of a long story. Raditz and Nappa didn't really know what to do. They've just been going around space, trying to do odd jobs here and there, becoming basically mercenaries for hire. Eventually they came across the Heaters, a group that actually had a lot of resources, which was not only great in terms of getting them money, but also in terms of them training. The Heaters aren't working on as large of a scale as they were before since Frieza's gone, but still, they can make money being pirates essentially. And they're doing a really good job at it. Actually, too good of a job. Raditz and Nappa are also continuously training in the meantime, trying to get stronger and stronger. At some point, they have learned to sense power, remembering that those people on Earth were able to sense people without scouters. And it took a while to develop the sense, but at some points, they sensed energy flare up from where they think Earth is. They have no clue what the energy is because they've never felt it before. But occasionally, always from the same place, they feel some very strong energies flare up, and sometimes it's a similar energy to one they've sensed before. And one thing they notice is that the energy is somewhat similar to their own. Nappa could tell that one of the energies feels kind of like Raditz, and there's another energy that feels like them in another way. Maybe that's because the energy they're sensing is that of a Saiyan, with one of them being Kakarot, and obviously the other one being Vegeta. How strong are those guys getting? The fact that they're able to feel that out here, and it's only occasionally of course, but there's other weird spikes of energy too. Always from that planet though. And sometimes it feels like their energies merge even. They don't know what's going on, but they don't question it. They're mainly focused on their own craft now. They kind of do have their own rival, and in the sense that the rival kind of wants to kill them. That's Granola. Granola is very concerned about the Heaters. Not only did they hire new people that are outpacing him, but those people are Saiyans. He kind of has to hold his tongue for a bit, but at some point, he decides he needs to rebel against them. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him. The Heaters probably want to get rid of him. Or if they don't, maybe the Saiyans will. Maybe they're going to finish the job. And not just that, but he wants revenge against the Saiyans. If there's some Saiyans left, he has to get rid of them. After what they did to Planet Cereal, he's not just going to sit by and let that happen. At some point after the Buu Saga, he decides to make his wish. With this obviously being way earlier than normal. Granola tries to become the strongest mortal in the universe. And the wish does work, but this is at a completely different point in the story. He does become the strongest mortal, but it's not like what he does in the later parts. He's powerful, but it's not to an absurd level. And he also doesn't lose as much of his life from it since his potential didn't need to be compressed too much. Actually here, it's probably only going to be a few years that gets compressed off his life, compared to essentially the entire remainder of it. But it's still good enough. It gives him the power to defeat these Saiyans as well as the Heaters. And he plots his next move. He's going to get rid of them. All of them. All those people that stand in his way, and the people that caused this turmoil to happen to his planet in the first place. Then he will finally find peace. But right when he's about to strike against the Heaters, something really strange happens. He seeks the Heaters out, but he can't find them anywhere. He gets to their base of operations and it's completely in disarray. He barges in and just finds that Raditz and Nappa are there. Bloodied and beaten, standing over the corpses of the Heaters, also with golden hair. Wait, what happened while he was away? He doesn't even know whether to attack or not here. He actually almost does, but the Saiyans try and calm him down. They think that Granola's actually going to come kill them because they killed the Heaters. But Granola's just completely bewildered. Why? Why do they do that? And more importantly, why are they golden now? So, Raditz and Nappa power down and explain what's going on. In case you guys couldn't tell already, they have unlocked Super Saiyan by now. Through intense training actually, they've had this for a while. Of course they unlocked it way later on than Goku and Vegeta did, but they've heard rumors of it from the Frieza Force. While Frieza was killed, the Frieza Force and King Cold were still out there. And before King Cold's death, rumors of this spread around. So Raditz and Nappa knew that the legend was real. They could become Super Saiyans. They trained as hard as they could, and it took them a while, but they eventually unlocked it. And here in this fight, they actually unlocked a new power as well. Obviously it wasn't an easy battle, especially when Gas unleashed his instincts. With Gas also realizing, one of those Saiyans. Something about him seems so familiar. He can't quite put his finger on it because unlike Goku, he doesn't look exactly like Bardock, but for some reason, he feels that same resentment towards him that he did when he was fighting Bardock. He saw that same drive and willpower. And that's when Gas got dangerous, getting backed into a corner, causing him to unleash his instincts against them. But of course when the Saiyans were pushed into a corner, that only made them stronger, causing them to go Super Saiyan 2, finding a level beyond Super Saiyan, although it's a level that they could barely control. They only just recently got control over Super Saiyan. Okay, that's great and all, but Granola asked why'd they kill the Heaters. That's more so what he wanted to know. Oh yeah, Raditz and Nappa wanted to get rid of any trace of Frieza. They used the Heaters as a means to an end. The Heaters had all the resources they needed, not just for money and power, but for training. And now they have more than enough wealth to do basically whatever they wanted. And while they do love fighting, they're not going to be the same Saiyans they were before, just going around destroying things. They don't really need that. They have all the wealth they need, and they're not being controlled by anybody. The Heaters were basically the last remains of Frieza, even if they didn't work directly with Frieza. And it's very fulfilling. They use this last connection to Frieza for their own gain, and then sever that connection to Frieza. Nothing more to worry about. And this is kind of strange for Granola because he just planned on killing these two, and they're saying that they also wanted to rebel against the Heaters and Frieza as well. And he learns more about them and how they even tried to rebel against Frieza before, actually deserting his army twice. They weren't even present on Planet Cereal. Hell, Raditz wasn't even old enough to be present there. Maybe his father was there though, but he's not sure. Granola's kind of bummed by this because that means he might have just wasted the wish, and that makes him realize his pursuit of revenge kind of clouded his judgment here. It should have been pretty clear to tell that the Saiyans were on his side. Although, he still doesn't trust them obviously, because look at how they just turn on the Heaters. Who knows if they're going to do the same to him next. But, of course they don't. So this happened sometime after the Buu Saga, around the same time as Battle of the Gods actually. They have no clue of what's going on Earth, and Raditz and Nappa are just living as is. They eventually do form a crew with Granola. If the Heaters were out there, there's probably other people like Frieza, or people that work with Frieza that they still can defeat. The three of them all actually have a common goal. Just get rid of any remains of the Frieza Force. Even if they're not directly connected, they want to get rid of it. It's kind of what Raditz and Nappa wanted to do before, and they do consider going to Earth to recruit Goku and Vegeta, but they're not too sure. They're probably powerful, I mean, they've sensed them from here, and they did defeat Frieza in the first place. But at the same time, they're not sure if those two are their enemies because they almost accidentally killed them before. Actually, probably twice because they led Frieza to that planet in the first place. Maybe not the best idea to go there because that could be walking to their own death. And while they're seeking out the rest of the Frieza Force, they eventually find something pretty strange. A while after the three of them bond together as some sort of a de facto crew, they realize that some of the Frieza Force is trying to make a comeback, and they're not too sure why. Eventually they track down one of the new Frieza Force bases, and this shows them that the Frieza Force is still active. They destroy this base, but they also want to gather intelligence. Who's out there leading them? Why are they still so active? But the soldiers all laugh. Their Emperor is back. Frieza's been revived. Wait, revived? How? That makes no sense. But Granola theorizes how it could have happened. Well, he doesn't know of the Dragon Balls being summoned on his planet. Monado would have told him if someone summoned Taranbo. But what if there's other Dragon Balls out there too? I mean, there's gotta be. If Monado was able to create them, there's gotta be other Namekians that can too. And maybe there's a planet somewhere out there that has their own Dragon Balls. And that's exactly what happened. Frieza's army went to Earth, getting the Dragon Balls to revive him like normal. But this time, Resurrection F's gonna go much different. Raditz, Nappa, and Granola seek out Frieza immediately. They need to kill him before he starts anything else. He's probably still weak right now. I mean, he's gotta be around the same level he was before, right? Well, this is a few months after he's been revived. 2 months into it, in fact. And they don't know how crazy fast Frieza grows. They work at a breakneck speed, trying to find Frieza's main base of operations, trying to find where Frieza is at the moment. They need to strike him quick, strike him with a sneak attack, before Frieza finds them and kills them, because Raditz and Nappa know they're probably on Frieza's list. Vegeta and Kakarot are probably the main targets, but Raditz and Nappa are definitely right underneath that. With the power of Super Saiyan 2, they should be able to win, and with Granola having that power from the wish he made, that'll definitely help here as well. At some point, they're able to locate Frieza, barging in while he's in the middle of his training, killing all the soldiers around them. And Frieza's infuriated. How did they find him? How did they even know he was alive? And more importantly, why is it these three? And who's that green-haired guy? Actually, whatever, he's not even going to question it because he sees Raditz and Nappa. Those are two of his main targets. He wanted to kill Vegeta and Goku first, as well as the other young Saiyans on Earth. But these two will do just fine. They'll make a nice appetizer. But Raditz and Nappa say not to underestimate them. They've gotten a power that's going to make Frieza terrified, as they transform, going Super Saiyan. And Frieza laughs. He's seen that before, and that's exactly why he's training. He's grown stronger than a Super Saiyan. Actually, beyond that too. Well, luckily for them, they've also grown beyond Super Saiyan as well, as they transform into Super Saiyan 2 next. Alright, well, Frieza doesn't really see too much of a change. I mean, he just sees lightning around them and spikier hair, but not like the spikier hair really affects Nappa much. Alright, the Saiyans are kind of annoyed they're still being patronized by Frieza even after this, but they'll be sure to eliminate him. A battle ensues, a 3v1, and Frieza's actually got the advantage. Even with Super Saiyan 2, they can't believe that they're actually falling behind. I mean, obviously they're not as strong as Goku and Vegeta are in Super Saiyan 2. And not to mention, with Frieza's insanely rapid growth, he's performing pretty well here. The fight starts to become a little bit even, with Granola actually helping even it out because he's able to find vital points to hit Frieza in. But Frieza still has one final trump card, one thing that he's been waiting to break out. He hasn't used it yet because he barely has a control over this, but the raw power alone, it should be enough to finish this battle quickly. He wanted to save this for the other Saiyans. These two, they weren't worthy of it. They're not strong enough to even face this. But hey, he'll give them a nice treat for their death. He stresses himself greatly. Veins pop out of his head. He seems to be in pain transforming. He could barely do this. They thought this was his final form. And he has another beyond it now? He's surrounded by a golden aura as his skin becomes golden as well. He reveals his newest power, Golden Frieza. He glares over at Granola, and with a blink of his eye, he knocks Granola far away. He'll save that guy for later. These two Saiyans, those are all he really cares about right now. But his power's draining fast, and he knows it. He starts beating these two, not killing them instantly. He wants to make them suffer after all. But that's probably his biggest mistake here, because that gives time. Time for reinforcements to arrive. Someone else then enters the scene, striking Frieza with a powerful blow. Frieza's knocked far across the ground, and he looks up to see a figure coated in red walking towards him. And that silhouette, it's unmistakable. It's Vegeta. Wait, why is he here and why is he red now? Vegeta says he never thought he'd see Frieza again, but this time he'll kill him for good. And after what he did to Goku and his friends before, he's not even gonna give Frieza a chance to fight back. Frieza launches in with all his power towards Vegeta, but Vegeta simply sticks a hand out, launching a massive beam that incinerates him. And Vegeta looks back at the others. Raditz and Nappa are on the ground being helped up by Goku, with Granola then flying back over to where everyone is. It's a good thing they made it just in time. Whis told them that Frieza was back, and apparently he was beating up Goku's brother. They've been looking for Raditz and Nappa for a while, and this is the perfect excuse to go seek them out. And Vegeta walks back over to them, then powering down. How funny. They have unlocked Super Saiyan as well. It's definitely been a long time, and they're gonna need to catch up. This is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's gonna happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps with the channel and shows me you want to see more like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.